Hey guys, it's James here. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for the response to my first two videos, including the one on Wednesday, which is talking about the 2-minute rule. I can't believe I've already hit 20 subscribers. It's just mental. I only thought I was going to get about maybe 3 or 4, and I'm on 20 now. So thank you to everyone who's put faith in me with a subscription. I hope I can repay that faith with some great videos and more valuable content that's going to be coming in the future. As I've said, 2 videos a week is what's coming, and 2 videos a week is what you guys are going to get. So without further ado, let's go in and talk about today's video. We're going to be talking about the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay, so giving a bit of background to when I first, in this case, listened to the book on an audio book. I was on holiday, I think in about 2016 or 2017 time. I'd been out with my friends the night before, and somehow with my family, because I was out with my family, I got dragged to a water park the next day. Hungover as anything, I didn't go on any water rides. I laid on the sunbed all day, and I had Rich Dad, Poor Dad in my audible library, and I thought, right, come on, let's give this a listen. And it really helped me deal with hangovers. So if any of you guys have a hangover, go and listen to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm not saying it's a hangover cure, it's genuinely, it's one of the best books I listened to. It was so engaging. The stories that Robert Kiyosaki talked about in the book were amazing. And it really helped to put across to me the importance of financial education and being financially literate, the importance of working to learn, as I'm going to talk about in this video, and the importance of actually putting your money to work and making your money work for you rather than sitting in the bank and doing nothing. So hopefully in this video I can bring across some of these lessons to you guys, and hopefully you guys can put some of these things into action following this video. So without further ado, let's get in and talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay, so just quickly to explain the book, Robert is essentially talking about the lessons that he learned from his rich dad compared to what his poor dad was trying to tell him to do. His poor dad was a doctor with a PhD, earned a substantial amount of income, but he always struggled financially, whereas his rich dad, who he learned everything off of, didn't even finish the 8th grade, but yet he went on to become one of the richest men in Hawaii and left millions in wealth to his family after he passed away. So it's a really, really interesting read, and the lessons that he learned from his rich dad are ones what everyone should be learning about finance. And Robert really emphasises the importance of financial education and learning finance from a young age. So let's go into the book. Let's talk about some of the lessons that Robert talks about, and hopefully it can give you guys some great knowledge from the book. If you haven't read it already, or if you have, hopefully it can reaffirm the knowledge that you've already drawn from the book. So let's get into it. We're talking about lesson 1, which is the importance of financial education. Okay, so talking about financial education in the book, one of the things that Robert really explains as a problem in society nowadays is the fact that there's no real financial education taught in schools. I was actually quite lucky in the sense that I learned, I did financial services as an A-level, but generally most schools don't really teach it. And it's really up to your parents in your early years to teach you about to give you your financial education. And it can really either lead to you having some good positive beliefs or some really bad negative beliefs about finance and money. So you'll really depend on what your parents are going to teach you in your early years, on what your early financial beliefs are going to be. And what Rob really wants to try and do in the book is try to reprogram what your beliefs are about finance. And one of the key things what he talks about to knowing about personal finance is knowing the difference between an asset and a liability, because we're often taught different things about what assets and liabilities are. So talking about assets and liabilities, an asset is anything that's going to earn you money, whereas a liability is anything that's going to lose you money and you're paying out for. So let's give examples of these. An asset could be, as Robert talks about, a business, what you invest in, could be real estate, or it could be paper assets such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, these tax lien notes I think he talks about. Not really something here in the UK, but I think it's something in America. So any of my American viewers, let me know. Liabilities, on the other hand, are anything that we're paying out for each month. So these are the things, as Robert talks about, that the middle class tend to put their money into rather than what the rich put their money into, which is assets. So liabilities could be having a huge house, because that's something I really struggled to come to grips with when I first listened to the book, is the fact that your house is not an asset, it's rather a liability. And the reason this is because at the end of the day, obviously we're paying our mortgage out each month, but on top of the mortgage we're having to pay interest, and that's money that's just going to go in thin air. We're not going to earn that back, and you're relying on your house to appreciate in value over time. If it's your forever house that you're living in, you're not going to earn money out of that either way, because you're just spending money into it and you're never going to get the money out of it. So that's a really, really interesting concept that Robert talks about, and the fact that you should, rather than investing in a house straight away, invest in a house that you're going to rent out rather than live in. So the key is, as Robert talks about, to really operate in the assets column rather than the liabilities, and that's what rich people, as he talks about, tend to live in. They invest in assets, which is going to produce them income, and they're going to have more money coming in, obviously, than's going out, and they tend to live off of that money and still have money left over, what they can then invest into more assets and then create themselves a greater income each month. So as he talks about financial education, the real key is to learn about assets and be able to invest in it. It's all about the money that you keep and put back into assets to create yourself more money each month, which is going to allow you to be financially free and not have to work for your job. So now, guys, let's go into talking about the importance of investing your money and the things you can invest your money into. So yeah, one of the key things that Robert talks about in the book is the key of making your money work for you, so investing in things rather than just keeping your money there in cash. Because at the end of the day, if you're keeping your money in your bank in cash, all you're going to do is lose value over time, especially in high inflationary times like now, where we're seeing like 9-10% inflation year on year. It's pretty mental. So if you can invest in things where your money's going to appreciate in value over time rather than lose money, it's going to earn you money, then that's the place to put it. So Robert talks about putting it into things such as businesses, so investing into those, or starting a business, investing into real estate where you're going to earn cash flow each month out of the real estate. So investing, as he says, in condominiums in America, or as we have over here, blocks of flats, investing into sort of single let houses, and then also investing into stocks and shares. So that's something that I do myself. So I'm making my money work for me, and I'm paying myself first. Whenever I earn my money each week, what I do, I save 15% of my income and I put it straight into my stocks and shares ISA, and then I invest it into the S&P 500, which, hopefully as I'll talk to you about in more personal finance videos from other books, the key sort of lesson is, rather than trying to pick individual stocks where you're going to lose money, which I did when I was younger, so I'm sure I have to talk to you about that in a future video. Put your money into index funds such as S&P 500, which tracks the value of the top 500 companies in the USA. So generally year over year it's appreciated values, like some years it's appreciated as much as 20% in value. So investing into the likes of index funds rather than individual stocks itself, you can't go wrong. But yeah, those are the sort of things that Robert recommends to put your money to work in, rather than just keeping it in cash and then let it lose value over time. So yeah, that's the importance of investing your money rather than let it sit in cash. Now let's talk about the power of corporations with your assets. So yeah, one of the key things that Robert talks about in the book with regards to finance itself and assets is the importance of corporations and using these to be more tax efficient. What it talks about is how individuals, they earn their money personally, but then they're having to pay out 50% to the government, or 20%, 30%, or 45% here in the UK. I'm not too sure what the tax structure is in America, depending on how much you earn, but yeah, you're going to be paying money out straight away to the government in tax. Whereas what he talks about doing is the power of corporations, and how you can spend pre-tax dollars in a corporation after you earn it, and then you only pay tax on it once you've spent money and it comes to the end of the financial year, and obviously your taxes are due. So you're only taxed on your profits for the year. So that's the real key, is to have your assets inside corporations where they're going to be a lot more tax efficient. So the money you're earning from your businesses each month or your real estate, it then comes in, then you can spend on business expenses when you're inside your corporation, and then only pay out on tax on the profits that you earn from your corporation. So yeah, that's the importance of corporations. The last key lesson, which I think we should all take something from, is the fact that you should work to learn, not work to earn. So let's get into that now. Okay, so working to learn. This is something that Robert's rich dad really tried to drill into him and his friend Mike from the book from a young age. He was talked about the importance of knowing a little about a lot rather than knowing just a lot about one thing. Because having a broad range of skills can really help to benefit you in your career in business and being able to grow rich and wealthy over time. So what Robert's rich dad tried to do with him was get him to work in all different departments across his business empire. So he worked in restaurants, the construction businesses, worked in accounts, reservations, sales and marketing, all sorts of different departments, and he got to learn a range of different skills, and that's something that I really do see the value in. what I've done in my career. I've worked inside, like before I've come into the logistics and real estate sectors, which is what my business is currently in. I've worked in, I had work experience in wealth management. I worked at a corporate bank for a few months in one of my internships whilst I was at university. I had some work experience in insurance. I worked for my local MP, so Member of Parliament, so a local member of government here. In case we've got any American viewers or international viewers who don't know what an MP is, it's a local member of government who works to do with Parliament. What else have I done? I've worked in marketing for 2 different firms. I've had experience. James Good, one of the key people who really brought me on in terms of marketing. If you're watching right now, thank you so much for everything you helped me out with. James Good is the man when it comes to paid search. So if anyone needs paid search, go and talk to him. He is the man. I've worked in all sorts of different things, and they've really helped to bring me on in the businesses that I work in today. So in the logistics and real estate, all these different skills to have knowing how sort of the financial system works in regards to banking, how obviously capital is distributed out into the system with loans. Everything has really helped to benefit me in my working life now. So I can certainly say that working to learn is a real key, because then you can use that to help you earn money through investing in businesses, investing in real estate, investing in stocks, bonds, etc. Is really going to benefit you. So yeah, that's my 4 key lessons, what I take away from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So that's my view of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, guys. That's the 4 lessons that I really took away from the book. I hope they've helped you. If you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad already, I really recommend going to read it or listen to it on Audible. If you have read it, I hope it sort of helped to reaffirm the lessons that you've already taken away from the book. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I hope it's provided you some value. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You'll be seeing me again with another video on Wednesday. Thank you so much for the support again. Honestly, it really does mean the world to me. And I'll see you guys all again soon. Take care, guys. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Bye.